What if I told you that the reason that you're not making the money you want to make in your business has almost nothing to do with strategy and almost everything to do with how safe you feel? Most online entrepreneurs aren't stuck because they lack skills, they lack knowledge. They're stuck because their brain, our brains, are wired to avoid risks at all cost. And business and entrepreneurship are both full of risk. So today we're going to talk about how psychological safety is the thing that's secretly holding you back, and how you can rewire your mind to move with confidence, to take action, and actually grow your business. By the end of this episode, you're going to know why your brain is blocking you from success and how to fix it, how to stop second guessing yourself and start taking that bold, aligned action, and why the right community can change everything for you. So if you're ready to break out of hesitation mode and start actually building a profitable online business and having fun while you're doing it, keep listening.
I'm Ashley, and this is the Maverick Mompreneur podcast, where you're free and encouraged to own your desire to create and scale an impactful, discoverable online brand and business, a business that's aligned with your mission, lifestyle desires, personality, and zone of genius without wasting your time on the hustle and grind hamster wheel that is social media. Can I get an amen? Sis, you are a maverick, an original, willing to stand out in your authenticity, defy expectations, and do life and business outside the box. In our world, if it's not aligned with who we are, it's a hard pass or a brave pivot. So if you're here for the powerful identity shift and transformation from boss babe or boss mom to aligned CEO, building a one-of-a-kind, influential, hustle-free online business that will produce long-term impact and multiple streams of income while building yourself in the process, well, pop in those AirPods, grab that cup of coffee or glass of wine, and let's get growing.
So before we talk about why us entrepreneurs can get stuck in this psychological safety net, but I'm going to call it a trap, let's talk about what psychological safety is in and of itself. So psychological safety is your brain's way of keeping you from danger, from harm. So think back to prehistoric times, like cavemen. This was great. So you stick with your tribe, you avoid danger, you survive. But in business, in 2025, that instinct that you have in your brain programmed in from so long ago is something that keeps you playing small, and it's something that you must and you absolutely can overcome. So how this shows up for entrepreneurs. These are the most common things that I see. Hesitation to post content because maybe you're afraid of what people will think. Avoiding selling because you don't want to come off as too pushy or too salesy. Putting off launching because of the fear of, what if no one buys? And so many more. The key here is that if you're feeling resistance around things that you also know will grow your business, so increasing visibility, selling, asking for money, so not saying give me your money, but selling, is not because you're not ready. I can almost guarantee it's because your brain is wired to keep you comfortable. But unfortunately, comfort won't make you money. I'm sure you've heard that saying before, that everything that you desire and want is on the other side of your comfort zone. And it's really true in this case. Staying comfortable and staying in that psychologically safe place that our brain so desperately wants to keep us is holding you back from increasing your income and your impact, period. So I want to tell you a story about one of my clients. I'm not going to reveal who this is, but I adore her. She's incredible. And let's call her Sarah for sake of this example. So Sarah is amazing on video. She is charismatic, she's magnetic, she's a natural, and she can go live on Instagram or Facebook or show up in her stories without overthinking it. She speaks great off the cuff. Her audience loves her energy, and truly, no cap, as the kids say, video content is literally where she shines. I don't think anyone would debate this that knows Sarah. So we have been working together to create her first ever digital product, and it's going to be a course course, and it's in a topic she is absolutely an authority in and embodiment of. So you'd think, and I definitely thought, it was going to be easy for her to just hit record, shoot her videos once she had her outline, which she did, right? But wrong. Sarah, I can't keep almost saying her real name, completely froze when it came to this very part. She kept saying to herself, this has to be perfect. This is a paid product. People are going to buy this. What if I mess up and I have to re-record everything 5 million times? I sound fine on live video. I feel totally comfortable, but a course, that feels so stuffy. That feels official. I don't want to get it wrong, and so much more. And this caused her to procrastinate for weeks. Her course was fully outlined. It was and will be so dang good. In fact, I'm going to go through the course. I'm her coach, but I'm also her ideal client for this particular subject matter. So I'm going to go through this, and frankly, I might get the videos out. I want to see them because I'm really interested in learning this and also helping her to market this amazing course. But every time that she sat down to record, she felt completely stuck. Her husband was even like, what is going on? You love doing video. What's going on? So what was happening with Sarah? Her brain was subconsciously treating this as a different level of risk than her usual video content. So in her brain, Instagram lives, Facebook lives, showing up in stories, safe. No pressure, no big stakes. A paid course, not safe. Alert, red alert, brains sending prehistoric signals. This is not safe. Suddenly there's all these expectations, potential judgment, and the feeling of needing to be perfect and flawless and blah. But that is psychological safety at work. Her brain wasn't trying to sabotage her. It was doing its number one job. It was trying to protect her from potential embarrassment, failure, or feeling like she wasn't expert enough. Well, you can't see me doing air quotes, but I'm quoting air quotes. So how did she overcome this? Because she did. So fortunately, she is in the Maverick Society membership. She asked a question. She's like, I don't know what's going on. I need a pep talk. I need your help. So instead of trying to force her through the block, what I did was work with her to reframe this situation and reduce that perceived threat that her brain was giving her, as it should. And so when you recognize a threat from your brain and something feels scary, just know your brain's doing its job, but we need to reframe and work around this. So here's what we did. So firstly, lower the stakes. Instead of sitting down and recording 5 videos that she needed to record for the course, I said, hey, pretend like you're talking to me, hop on a Zoom where you're comfortable recording and just talk to me, shoot your first video. This might be the first try. We might redo it, but just know we can edit out anything that you don't want to say. Just do your thing. Don't edit, don't publish, just talk like you do on a live video and then send it to me. I'm going to watch it and then we're going to talk about it. And then we'll see from there. But just do one. Pick your favorite topic, the one that you're so excited to talk about, and just talk to me. And I asked her something along the lines of, hey, if you were doing this as a live video, would you feel this much pressure? And she was like, no, I would just do it. And so you can actually trick your brain to pretend you're doing something you are comfortable with instead of filming a course, right? So that small little mental shift helped her to finally start recording. And so she was like, okay, I'm going to go and record this video. The other important piece to this, and what I talked to her about before she went to go and record, is that her audience is not expecting perfect. Her audience doesn't want her to be perfect. Her audience wants her to be real, relatable, to share that special Sarah-only energy, and to be helpful and authentic. No one really gets maximum value from someone who isn't being authentically fully themselves, right? She doesn't need to be polished. She just needs to be you, and trust that what she's going to deliver is going to be massively helpful, and even more so if she brings her own unique flair to it. Speaking off the cuff, giving examples that just come out of nowhere. Some of those things are absolutely magical, and the mistakes end up being the things that just absolutely endear your ideal clients to you. And I knew that, knowing her and seeing how she shows up. That's what her students are going to fall in love with. That's what's going to make repeat buyers, because they want more of her. Her personal brand is leading the show here, and she has some of the same information as other people, as we all do. How many business coaches are there nowadays online? Tons of them. But what makes me unique and what makes you unique in your niche is who we are, the take that we bring to things. Okay, we are our brands, and that is what someone is going to love. The right people people are going to love and want more. So lowering the stakes, shifting perspective, and just normalizing the heck out of imperfection. Okay, so I think you can guess where this is going, but she sent me the video, her first one, and I literally had to come up with something that we could possibly try and edit. She absolutely crushed it, just like I knew she would, because video is where she shines. And so once I gave her feedback and told her, excuse me, this is incredible information, firstly, but also I was so engaged. I want the next video. I learned so much from the way that she uniquely broke down the information. I've read several books about the topic, but the way that she delivered it in her unique personality just brought everything home. And so once she stopped treating it like this high stakes moment and just got into her groove and realized that it's actually not that different from what she was already doing and that her brain was just doing its job and keeping her safe, now she's like on a roll filming all the videos. And this course is going to be amazing. I don't think she understands like how big of a launch this can and will be. What would have happened if she was just working by herself and on her own? And how many women probably have gold mines of impact and income that are in their brains, but their brains are keeping them safe and they're not moving forward because of some fear, right? That psychological safety piece is holding them back and sabotaging what could absolutely be so much fun for them, so impactful for their customers, for their students, for their clients. The lesson from Sarah, there, I almost slipped it out again, is that psychological safety and getting past this isn't about eliminating fear, it's about managing it. Her fear didn't go away, but we reworked things enough to where she could take that risk. She moved forward feeling fear, but doing it anyway, knowing what was going on. Honestly, the moment you stop letting your brain dictate your actions based on its perceived risk, you take control back. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so let's do a little rewire your brain for growth in business 101. So the first thing that we're going to do to shift this is to reframe fear as proof that you are headed in the right direction, that you are doing it right. Fear doesn't mean stop, don't do this. It means typically, now I don't want you to override something that is out of alignment. That's honestly an entirely different podcast, and I feel like I probably have one on that. So if there's something that's out of alignment, it feels out of integrity, it feels uncomfortable to your spirit, your soul, there's something wrong, that is different. But what I'm talking about is that fear that is really excitement masked as fear because your brain is saying, this is the thing that will move you forward into uncharted territory that could be really great, but you don't know what's out there. Let me keep you safe, right? Most people see fear as a red flag. Like, okay, you know what? If I'm scared, if I'm feeling this way, I must not be ready. I'm just gonna, call it quits. I'm not meant for this. I'm not cut out for this, but that is not true. Honestly, whenever I feel that fear, I know it's a sign that I'm at the edge of my next level. I'm on the edge of growth, and my brain is like, are you sure you want to go there, Ash? I don't know if you're ready. Stay safe, girl. But let's think about this. So the first time you went live on social media, you were nervous, right? I know I was. I have a screenshot of my very first ever Facebook Live. It was in 2018. No, 2017. I looked like a deer in headlights. Very similar situation to Sarah. I have a master's degree in educational leadership. Before I left my career to stay at home, I was leading IEP meetings as a district administrator every day, like 6 to 8 of these meetings, speaking live in front of people, but then me in front of a camera, which should ostensibly be easier and less pressure. Oh no, I was nervous, but that was because my brain was like, uncharted territory. Like you need to be scared right now. You should be scared. You don't know what you're doing. What about the first time that you charged for your work or your coaching? Felt uncomfortable, didn't it? No, it did for me. I gave away free value for 6 months in my private Facebook group before I got up the guts to charge $97 for an hour of coaching. And then I realized, I need to do this as a business. I love this. I love teaching. I am a teacher by degree, by trade. And so once I got past that, I built a business and I scaled it to 6 figures in a year. So I totally have been there. I've been there. What about the first time you've launched an offer? Maybe you haven't launched an offer. If you have, you probably, before you launched your first offer, at some point wanted to back out. Or if you are thinking about launching your first offer or a new offer, you might be thinking now, you know what, let's just do this later. But when you do things anyway, what happened? If you're like me, you realized it wasn't actually as scary as you thought. You got better. You started building momentum. You started having fun even with the thing that felt so scary. So what's the lesson here? Fear doesn't mean stop, again, unless it's the kind of fear that means there's some actual danger that's going to cause some harm to your life. It means go in this case. It means you're stepping into something that's new and something that will move you forward. And it's outside your comfort zone, but comfort zone is just one little zone, right? If you want to move forward, if you want to grow, you've got to bust through that. The trick is to recognize fear as a green light. Instead of thinking, I'm scared, I must not be ready. Think, okay, green light, I'm scared. So this must be exactly what I need to do. Okay, let's feel this fear. Let's do it anyway. Another thing that I learned a long time ago, don't know from who, is detaching from the outcome. And I actually feel like I learned this in a relationship sense. It might have been from my life coach that I worked with post-divorce, and just talking about detaching from the outcome when it comes to relationships. I think this is obviously a dating capacity, but it applies here too. Your job isn't to guarantee success with this thing that you're going to try in particular. It's to keep showing up until success happens, to keep trying things, to keep iterating, to keep taking daily action until success happens, but not being attached to the outcome of a particular launch or a particular endeavor, or, in the case of relationships, a particular relationship. Know what you want as far as success and know that it's going to happen, and don't be attached to the outcome of a particular thing. And this applies to psychological safety because we start to believe that every single move we make has to be perfect before we make it. Like, I can't launch yet. What if nobody buys it? They might not. But guess what? You're building momentum by showing up powerfully in your launch. Or I can't launch that podcast. What if nobody listens to it? Well, how will you ever know if you don't publish it? And what happens if you don't? What happens if you don't get your voice out there? What about that message that you have on your heart to share that can and absolutely will reach people if you keep going? Here's the truth, and I think I've said this on probably 10 to 20 episodes. Every single successful entrepreneur you admire, myself included, if you admire me, has failed so many times. What separates successful entrepreneurs from people who stay stuck is that they literally keep going anyway. Persistence. If I could give you one key to success in online business or anything, is persistence. Continue going anyway. If you hear nothing else from this episode, just know that that's the key. It's not very fancy, but it really truly is. You just keep going. There were, I can't even count how many failures along the way in starting my business and along the journey that I could have threw in the towel, and I wouldn't have the business that I have today, which I absolutely love and am so thankful for, especially if you've listened to my episodes over the last few months with all that's been going on in life. Thank God, literally, that I was persistent and kept going anyway, even when I was like, oh man, kind of scary. Your job really isn't to guarantee that every single launch is a total hit. It's to keep launching until you figure out what works. And obviously there's ways to shortcut that. You don't have to trial and error every single thing. More on that to come. Your job isn't to make sure that every post goes viral and gets tons of views. It's to post consistently so that your audience grows over time. You see what works and do more of that. Your job isn't to avoid rejection. Your job isn't to make sure that every single piece of content you put out results in a sale. It's to pitch so many times that eventually you're getting yeses. Now, I used to hear all the time in network marketing when I was involved in that industry to go for no. I think there is a line that you don't want to cross in doing something that is ineffective until you get a yes. You shouldn't have to ask 1,000 people and them tell you no to get one yes. That means there's something wrong with your marketing and or your product or your approach, right? So I'm not telling you to put yourself in a position to be rejected. That's a very different thing. but to continue pitching until you get a yes and really be detached from the outcome. When I send an email, I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, if no one buys from my subtle pitch at the end, that means I suck. No, but it's another exposure for someone who needs what I have to offer, who will eventually become a customer, a client, a member. And if not, I've provided them value and I'm doing my part to fill my mission to create impact in helping women to be more successful in making money online so that they have options, period. The third shift, and this is really the accelerator, is to put yourself in rooms that normalize action, that normalize building momentum, celebrating the journey, and doing all the things that keep your head in the game. Your environment either keeps you safe or pushes you forward, and the right community makes action feel normal. Do you ever notice how your behavior changes depending on the people around you and what they're doing or not doing? So if you're in a room, and I'm talking virtual or in person, for me it's almost always virtual, where everyone's complaining about how hard business is, oh, the economy is down, blah, you start to believe that success is rare, it's hard to achieve, and all of these things. However, if you're surrounded by people who are launching, selling, growing every day, learning from failure, learning from mistakes, asking questions, suddenly it doesn't feel so scary anymore. It feels normal. Other people around you are doing that, and you see that, hey, not everyone is knocking it out of the park every time, but we're in it to win it for the long term, for the journey. So your brain normalizes whatever environment you're in. If you're always around people who overthink and they procrastinate and they play small, then you are literally going to subconsciously do the same. But then on the flip side, if you're surrounded by people who take action, who experiment, who show up, even when it's scary, you are naturally going to start doing the same. So the quickest accelerator way to shift your mindset is to surround yourself with people who already operate at the level that you want to be operating at. And that's exactly why the Maverick Society, my coaching membership, exists. It's a space that I created where action is normal, growth is expected, and support is a obvious built-in. So if you are someone who wants to stop thinking about success and stop thinking about your next level and start living it out, then you need to be in a room where that's just how things are done. That's the expectation. And also because doing this entrepreneurial journey alone is way harder than it needs to be. Trust me, I think back on that myself. There was probably a good year where I really did try to kind of go it alone and not seek out coaching and just figure things out. The least progress during that year. Maverick Society is where female entrepreneurs get the strategy, support, and accountability they need to build a profitable, aligned, and sustainable online business without the hesitation, the guesswork, the getting stuck, the overthinking, or the burnout. In the membership, you get, to name a few things, weekly hot seat coaching with me so you never stay stuck. And not only that, if you have a question that's just a quick question, you get the opportunity to ask it in our private community and get feedback from me within 24 hours. You get access to proprietary tools and a proven roadmap to grow and monetize your brand. And it's not cookie cutter, because there is no one cookie cutter way that is going to work for every single person to build a business. And most importantly, you get a community of women who actually get it when it comes to this entrepreneurial roller coaster. Did I say roller coaster? I should have said journey, because it is a journey. It's always a journey, and it's something that we celebrate in the Maverick Society very intentionally. In fact, once a month we have a celebrate the journey happy hour mocktail cocktail type of thing, just for socializing and chit-chatting and getting to know one another. But it's meant to celebrate the things that are going well, because not everything goes well, and we celebrate wins big and small. So if you would like more information about the Maverick Society, or you'd like to jump in there with us, you can go to elevatedwithashley.com/membership, or just click the link in the show notes, and you can join us today for just $97 a month. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime, or you can even join at the annual membership for $997 per year. So you get 2 months free and some really sweet bonuses, which frankly are worth $997 in and of themselves. And for a limited time, depending on when you're listening to this, I'm offering a 7-day trial for $1 as my gift to you. Now, of course, I hope that you'll fall in love with it if it's a fit and stay like most do, but I encourage you to to take advantage of that while it lasts, come hang out for a week, check everything out, check out the course library, come meet the ladies in the membership, come get some coaching and enjoy. Just imagine where your business could be in 1 month, 2 months, 6 months from now if you stopped waiting and started taking action, getting answers to the questions that may normally get you caught up, stuck, spinning your wheels, staying paralyzed in fear that you don't need to have. That's what we do in Maverick Society. So if you are tired of letting fear or anything else control your business and your progress, I encourage you to join us inside Maverick Society membership today. Head to elevatedwithashley.com/membership and take the first step toward building a business that actually works for you. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And until next time, cheers to your impact.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a ton of value. And if you did, I would really appreciate if you would rate, subscribe, and review this podcast. It really helps push out the message that I have to share with other female entrepreneurs. Thank you so much.